two clubs, with the Riders picking up a Week 1 victory in Edmonton at Commonwealth. Since then, the Elks have continued to lose. They are now 0-4 on the season, and they're going back to the quarterback who was their starter coming into the year.
Yeah, the starter coming into the year got pulled in the second half of the Toronto game 2 weeks ago. We're talking about Taylor Cornelius. Did not start against Ottawa in that loss. That was Jared Daggy, and they're back to Taylor Cornelius. He does have some recent pretty good memories to draw upon when playing Saskatchewan going back to last year. 4 wins for Cornelius in his starts. They're back to number 15. On the other sideline, no question who the starter is for the Saskatchewan Roughriders. It's Trevor Harris. He has the Riders off to a 2-1 start, and in that loss, threw for over 400 yards against Winnipeg.
His head coach has had a ton of success against Edmonton so far in his career. 7-1 versus the Elks. The loss to Edmonton coming last September here at Mosaic. Different story for that man. Chris Jones has lost 11 of his last 12 games. The team is 0-4 to start the season after a year they wanted to forget and move on from, in which they won only 4 games last season. We know about the home losing streak in Edmonton. The Riders have one of their own. They have lost 7 in a row at home. They will try to change that here tonight. The Riders won the coin toss, decided to take the ball, so Trevor Harris and his offense will have a chance to set the tone early here in this game. That Week 1 game between the two clubs was a pretty well-played defensive game. We'll see if we get something similar here tonight.
And Taylor Cornelius got the win last year when he started late in the season against Saskatchewan.
Maybe the best game of his career. Here's a little bit of a shorter kick, staying away from Mario Alford, I would assume. And that is returned back out to about the 45, so pretty decent starting field position for Trevor Harris and the Riders offense.
Trevor Harris completing 66% of his passes. 4-5 career against Edmonton, and again 2-1 this year. He's got the 5 touchdowns against his 3 interceptions, and that total of over 400 yards passing in the loss against Winnipeg, the best total in yards for any quarterback in the league so far this year. 2
of his 3 interceptions in Week 1 against Edmonton, a game that he said he was still trying to sort of find his way early in the season after not having much preseason action. A handoff here, 4-yard pickup for this Riders offense.
Take a look up front and see that Brandon Council is back at left tackle. Gerald Hawkins played a little bit in the Calgary game prior to the bye, and then he went down early. They're going to go with Logan Bandy in at center, and there's Jamal Moore. I think both these teams tonight are going to try and get their run game going.
They hand it off again, and that'll be stopped short of where they needed to go. So the Edmonton Elks defense has been run all over so far this year. A couple of carries for Jamal Moore, who's having a sensational season again, and that'll bring up a 3rd and short situation, and Korsak out here to kick this ball away.
Yeah, they're going to punt it away. I just want to clear that up. So Peter Godber is out at safety at center for Saskatchewan, and Logan Bandy will play center in his spot, and then Council in for Hawkins attack. There we go.
You got it.
Both those lines have been shuffled around a ton, so we're going to take some time
on both
get them right.
Sides.
Yeah.
This is kicked away. And it'll be taken by Purefoy after a 43-yard kick. He picks his way back just outside the 20-yard line, and Taylor Cornelius, he watched last week. He gets the starting job back this week for now.
Well, from the outside looking in that game 2 weeks ago against Toronto, it looked like his best half of football of the season, and then was pulled early in the 3rd quarter. And at that time, it went the Kai Loxley drama that ended up having him being released. Now he is a Hamilton Tiger Cat. I understand that just happened recently in the last day or 2. So he has landed on his feet, but went to Jared Daggy and now back to Taylor Cornelius. We'll see.
Cornelius, 202 yards, touchdown, and 2 interceptions in that Week 1 game in Edmonton. They'll hand it off to Brown, a guy that they would very much like to get going, and they'll get about half they need as a big part of this Edmonton offense.
So rookie Philip Gruhovic is going to start at left guard on the offensive line, starting a rookie. The guy who played there was David Foucault. Foucault is now moved to right tackle. They brought in Brett Boyko, who's the 6th lineman dressed, and they got to get Kevin Brown. That's going to help everybody up front get Kevin Brown going.
4 options to the right here for Cornelius. They're going to move him to his right, and he will take off looking for a first down, and he has got it. Something that he wants to do a lot more of. Talked to him about that earlier this week because he's certainly capable of it.
Yeah, he really is. I mean, and that win last year, he did a nice job of running there, and that's kind of where we all, from the outside looking in, thought, yeah, this guy can get it done with his legs. And it was right on the heels of a brand new contract extension that he got. So a big first down early on to try and quiet the crowd down. It's going to be hard to do that because it's a big crowd and they're loud, but he's trying.
Yeah, nice crowd here at Mosaic on a picture-perfect Thursday night. They'll go back to Brown. He's wrapped up immediately there. Larry Dean in on the tackle, and of course, center focal point of this Riders defense.
Miles Brown didn't start in the middle of the defense on the defensive line last week or last game against Calgary, but he's back in that starting lineup. There's a guy I talked about in the pregame show. Larry Dean is somehow under the radar, but still one of the best, if not the best linebacker, middle linebacker in the league. And they get Jaden Dalkey back at safety. He was injured and didn't play in the Calgary game.
Dalkey already has an interception so far this season. 2nd and 8 for Cornelius. Escapes the pocket, has a ton of room. He'll take off again, and he will be stopped just outside the 45. That pocket collapsed quickly, but Cornelius scrambles for a dozen.
Well, a lot of eyes, and this doesn't happen very often, but a lot of eyes are going to be on both offensive lines as I tried to get them all and all the changes in the starters out there to see how they do. That pocket collapsed in a hurry, but if Taylor Cornelius can keep his eyes up and then move on the fly, it's going to put a bind on the Saskatchewan defensive backfield.
Just 4 carries for Cornelius this season. Coming into this game, he's already got a couple of scampers so far here tonight. They'll go back to Brown again. Stop behind the line of scrimmage. Tries to push his way back up, but no room at all for 4 in white.
Had a good game last year against Saskatchewan in their win. And it's been a little bit slow going for the run game for Edmonton. This year, their best game rushing the ball all season was against Saskatchewan in week 1 this year.
Kevin Brown in that game, 11 carries for 59 yards.
Yeah, 73 as a team.
Three options to the right for Cornelius. 4-man rush from the Riders. Cornelius with a lot of time down the field, and he's got Dunbar for a big first down, taking it into Rider territory. Dunbar's first catch of the ball game.
Becomes that much more important. Dunbar, he's in that trips to the field. That's 3 receivers in that side of the field. Number 7 is the number 2 receiver, and he's just going to dig across, get in behind in the hole in the zone, and Taylor Cornelius puts it on him. And again, all eyes on the O-line. Let's see how they do. 4-man pressure. They got 5 to block him. Pick up the stunt. Good time. That 23-yard gain. Lots of time in the pocket there.
Down to the Rider 41. 3 options again to the right. Now they'll get into the hands of the former Rider, Kyron Moore. And he's wrapped up rather quickly. Well read there by Roland Milligan.
You know, when we talk about running the ball and establishing the run, you hear the panel talk about the pregame show, establishing the run, stopping the run, how important it is. You can be creative with it. It doesn't have to be off tackle left, off tackle right, dive left, dive right.
Yeah.
You can go with those wide sweeps. You can go with those, you know, you get the slot backs and the receivers involved.
Sets up a 2nd and 7 here just inside the Saskatchewan 40. Cornelius looking to throw here. Once again escapes and will take off again. And once again, he's got another first down as Cornelius using his legs the best he has so far this season.
Yeah, and he's not hesitating. And I like his sense of urgency right out of the gate. First drive, first series for Edmonton. He's got his eyes up. But when he feels any little pressure, he's taken off. No hesitation, and Ryder's lucky not to get a penalty there.
He'll feel pressure.
Give the officials the benefit of the doubt that he was going down at the time.
16 sacks the Elks have given up so far this season. Now they'll get it to Brown. Moncrief on his tail, and they force him wide, and then he is stopped in his tracks. And once again, this time it's Dalkey moving down from that safety position, but they'll give him 3 yards on the first down carry.
So for Chris Jones, Jared Dagey is the backup tonight. Started last week in Ottawa. And the third quarterback, short yardage, would be Trey Ford, who wasn't on the roster last week and is back on the roster now.
10th play of the drive is a 2nd and 7 on the Rider 26. Cornelius throwing, almost intercepted. That was up in the air. He was looking for Maurice French. CJ Rivas, or Moncrief rather.
You know how quarterbacks, Dustin, go back and they look at the pad, at the tablet. They're going to look at the tablet, and Taylor Cornelius is going to say, I forced one here that almost got picked off. Stop it right now. Look at this. He checks down there. It's a one-on-one and probably 30 yards. He might score. And that's easy to do from up here. It's a little different when, defensive linemen are flying in front of your face.
But that's why they go watch the iPad.
Exactly. They just take a look at that, and don't be surprised if he'll go back to it.
And now the kick is wide left. First miss of the season for the 36-year-old rookie, Dean Faithful. And it'll just be a single for the Elks as they drive the ball down the field, but miss the field goal. Let's take one more look at this as we head to break. Faithful with a chance to give Edmonton a 3-point lead. Julian with the hold. No good.
Hold was solid.
Best pizza sub in the country at 7-Eleven. I swear by that. Go try it. You'll love it.
I'll trust you.
Yeah. Here's Trevor Harris. And he'll just toss this one out. Steady diet of Jamal Morrow to start this football game, and not a bad idea as he gets 9 yards on first down.
Outstanding cutback here on this Edmonton defensive front four, and I can't say it any plainer. The Edmonton defense, and it's all 12, not just AC Leonard, but all 12. He got his first sack last week. They got to stop the run. Adam Konar's got to get involved. Niles Morgan leads the league in tackles. He's doing his thing. Purifoy's down low, and Mark McLaurin is back at safety.
2nd and 1. 94. And a good push right up the middle, more than enough, and right to midfield. 6 more for Jamal Morrow.
Well, and I talk about run stopping. I mean, against Saskatchewan, 135. That was one of their good ones in the 4 starts.
Yeah.
When you look at the totals, last week against Ottawa, 208 yards on the ground. Now, there was a couple of big chunks late in that game, but that's still a lot of yards given up along the ground. That's back-to-back runs for Morrow.
9th in the league at stopping the run. Now they'll work in Hickson. Hickson with a great burst on first down, and he's just shy of another fresh set as he gets 9 heading up to the left.
Yeah, it's just a slight delay from the backers when they're trying to scrape to the hole, and rather scrape downhill and get there, they're catching them about 5-6 yards down the field. Then a good back will get another 2 or 3, and you're in real good manageable second down situations.
Yeah, just 1 yard needed here. Hickson out a little bit to the left of Harris. Now he'll slide back in next to his quarterback, Jamal Morrow, on the other side. And back to Hickson again. And it did look like that initial push was enough for another Riders first down as they're running the ball very well against the Elks.
Every team the Elks face are going to do this until they stop. And it's really that simple. You're going to just keep going, and then you'll mix in some play action, but you're going to keep running it if they keep giving up run yards. It's nice and safe. Kelly Jeffrey's got a chance to just see. He sees all the stats. He knows the numbers like we just gave you. So let's see if they stopped it, if they made adjustments.
Trevor Harris looking to pass for the first time in this game, and he's got a completion just outside the 30. It's Emelis who makes a nice move and takes it down inside the Elks 25.
Because then you get the clean throwing lane, because your linebackers hug the line of scrimmage, and you see the curl, nice clean throwing lane, opposite play action fake. Play action draws the linebackers right up. No linebacker underneath there to get in the vision of Trevor Harris. 20-yard gain.
MLS working against Marcus Lewis that time. 1st and 10 on the Edmonton 23 here for Harris. Out into the flat for Bain. Bain watched closely, trying to get around Purifoy, but Purifoy is able to wrap him up after a short pickup.
He plays with some style, doesn't he? He has his own thing. He's got the mask that he wears. He's just a different cat. And I mean, playing great for Edmonton. There's guys, you know, when you're losing, there are still lots of players doing their thing and can sign their painting. I mean, the guys that are playing great, and Purifoy's one of them. Played safety or down low in the box, and he's got a couple interceptions on the season already.
Had 2 interceptions against the Argos, 16 tackles as well. Chris Jones talked about wanting to move him to safety this week, but with McConzo out, they decided to slide Purifoy back down the defense. Now here's Harris, 2nd and 8. Harris with some time, near side, another completion. That one to Jones, stays in bounds and taken down at the 6 as Tevin Jones gets involved in the ball game.
Yeah, he's been coming on. I mean, targeted 21 times, made 14 catches, and they basically have a starting receiving core out of the lineup, Saskatchewan, when you think of Braden Lenius, Schaefer Baker, Darrell Walker, Brescison, and tonight, Jake Winicky.
That would basically be their starting group.
Yeah.
But Jones and Bain and Emelis have had great starts to the season. I think a veteran quarterback like Trevor Harris has really helped those guys. Jones with a touchdown already on the year. Jamal Morrow in behind Harris. They'll give it to him again. Morrow trying to find the end zone, and he stopped short just inside the 5. The whistle blows. He busts through. And Trevor Harris has his arms up in the air. It looked like they kind of blown that down at the 4, which is where the official is standing. Jamal Morrow tried to trick all of us, didn't he? Let's take a listen.
Oh, no, that was flash.
Wow, the whistle was late. He had his hand down and was not down. It didn't look like from that angle. Now, they will stop the play without a whistle occasionally if forward progress, in their opinion, has been stopped, and that must be the ruling there.
2nd and goal from the 3. Harris up top, and that one is dropped. He was looking for a watchie off his hands and incomplete. That'll bring up 3rd down from the 3, and the Riders offense is staying right on the field.
Yeah, Trevor Harris was making his way to the sideline for the field goal team to come out. And Kendall Watson was on his way out, said, no. Yeah. Coach has made a choice here. We're going for it.
Hey, why settle for 3 when you're so close to 6? 3rd and goal from the Edmonton 3 for Harris. That's Morrow standing in to his left as the Riders look to break through here in the 1st quarter. Harris with pressure in his face, dumps it off, incomplete, and a turnover on downs as the Elks had 3 guys free in the face of Trevor Harris. And the Edmonton defense, after getting run on the...
And Niles Morgan now is accounted for with a block down from Council off the edge. That left two Edmonton Elks free to rush Harris, Jake Serezna, and Kevin Konar. Adam Konar. I met Kevin Konar after last week's game in the airport. Adam's dad had a good talk about football. Former All-Star.
Adams had a nice return to Edmonton. Now they'll hand it off. Finally, a little bit of room for Brown, and he gives the Elks a little bit of breathing room with a nice carry, almost 9 yards on 1st down.
But that, you know, that pressure off the edge on a 3rd down gamble on the 4-yard line, there's going to be change motion here to the receivers. Watch how wide open Sean Bain is. I mean, this goes picture perfect for the offense. Wide open over here. And because of the pressure.
Because of that pressure, Harris
can't see it.
Didn't have time to look over there. Would have had him. 2nd and just inches.
Pressure always trumps coverage, in my opinion. If you could have one or the other, I'll take pressure.
Take the pressure every time. Cornelius handling the short yardage duties here today. Big fella, 6'5", 230, pushing ahead and gets the 1st down for Edmonton as the 1st quarter has flown by here in a 1-0 football game.
Well, you wonder, how would Taylor Cornelius approach this game when you consider the juggling that's gone back and forth with quarterbacks? And I have to give it to him, give him credit, because, he's played with urgency in this first quarter, took off and run a few times. It'd be easy to just kind of say, okay, I don't know what's going on, and just not be in it mentally, but he is. It was a good first drive.
1st and 10 from his own 14 now. 3 options out to the right. That's where he'll go, and he's got a completion for a first down as he gets Dylan Mitchell, who's been slow so far this season to get up to speed. Gets 13 yards there and another Edmonton first down, and that'll bring us to the end of the first quarter. Great crowd on a Thursday night at Mosaic, and it's the visitors, Edmonton, with a 1-0 lead on the Riders to kick off week 5 in the CFL. For a missed field goal, then the Riders answer with a long drive of their own and come up empty going for it on 3rd down. What do you think of that decision?
Yeah, I think it was a good one. I mean, I know there's probably some saying you could take the lead there, but because they missed the field goal, Edmonton, I thought Craig Dickinson could say, okay, we're on the 4-yard line, it's 3rd down, and we're only down 1-0. I mean, go ahead and go for it now, and if you don't get it, you hope your defense makes a stop deep in Edmonton territory. Now, Edmonton's got something to say about that too, and they've got it now just past the 25. But no, I think that's probably what Craig Dickinson was thinking. If he made the field goal, Edmonton makes the field goal, he takes the 3 and ties the game.
Just ties the game at 3 and exactly. Goes from there. 1st and 10 for Cornelius, looking down the field for Mitchell, and misses him by quite a bit. Marshall there in coverage. Mitchell never really had a crack at that one.
Again, I think pressure caused the issue on Cornelius there. He was feeling it. He had to get rid of it, and he threw it far enough that maybe. And again, David Foucault playing right tackle, and that was a last-minute decision tonight, an hour before kickoff.
Tough matchup there with Anthony Lanier in his face. 4-man pressure again. Cornelius in trouble again. Gets it away to Brown. And Brown has a first down as it looked like Cornelius was going to be taken down. Got the ball away just in time. And it ends up going for 13 yards to Kevin Brown.
Yeah, it was Anthony Lanier coming off the edge again. Again, David Foucault, who's trying to work on opposite footwork from moving from left guard to right tackle, is having trouble. But Cornelius just makes it happen with that underhand pitch up to Kevin Brown, and he went and got the first. Again, great sense of urgency from Taylor Cornelius tonight.
He was sacked 5 times in that week 1 loss at Commonwealth. It seems like he knows that he's not going to have much time here tonight. They moved pieces around on that offensive line. As Glenn had mentioned, they're taking a look at Lanier. Will step away quickly. Beautiful night in Pill Country, isn't it?
Isn't it always a beautiful night?
It sure looks like a great place to watch a football game.
Okay, you got work to do, so don't get...
I know, I'm just looking at it. Let me in just for a little bit. Here's Cornelius now, 1st and 10. Back to Brown, nice move. Trying to find somewhere to go, but he's going to be driven back by the Riders defense. Boy, they had every lane covered. And in the end, it's a 4-yard loss.
Yeah, that early push up the middle, that caused Kevin Brown to bounce it. Once he was bouncing it, now it's just speed to get there. He bounces outside that spin move, and he gets tracked down. Pete Robertson redirecting inside out, and from the outside, Williams, the corner, comes up and makes a tackle.
2nd and 14, crowd trying to get in the head here of Taylor Cornelius. 3 options out to his right. Pressure right up the middle. Cornelius looking for Brown up top, bounces into the hands of Forbes Montbleau. Won't be near enough for a first down. But what a weird bounce.
He's had a couple of weird bounces where he's made plays this year.
Had that touchdown.
Forbes Montbleau has got that long touchdown he had a couple weeks back when it was tipped and banged around, and he picked it up and took it to the house.
But take a look. Now, when you move from the left side of the O-line in any position to the right side, your footwork is all backwards. Foucault does a nice job with backup Brian Cox there.
Jake Julian set to kick this away. The Elks started this drive on their own 3, so move it up outside the 40, flip the field a little bit. Mario Alford waiting, and that's over his head all the way into the end zone. And he will pick it up there and take a knee, an 85-yard kick from Jake Julian. Well, Jamal Morrow was excellent last season prior to his injury and had a big week in week 3. Prior, he actually led the league in rushing after 3 weeks heading into the bye for the Riders.
Yeah, best rushing day of any running back so far in the CFL with 133 against Calgary. That was fun to watch too. Double overtime win for Saskatchewan against the Stamps. Big game for them this weekend.
Morrow's got 26 yards on 5 carries. Harris looking for his running back. Morrow got a hand on it. Harris had to double pump with some pressure in his face, and it falls incomplete.
Yeah, again, pressure trumps coverage. I mean, he has Morrow out there, but he's got pressure in his face, and now he's trying to throw around it or avoid the tackle, avoid the loss. Couldn't get it there.
And I think the pressure was from Noah Curtis, who's 6'8". So tack on a few more inches up top, and
so you're throwing it around an oak tree.
Not a lot of space there. Trevor Harris now 2nd and 10. 3 options out to the right. Escapes the first pressure, fumbles the ball. Who's on it? Edmonton on a Harris fumble. Take over on the Rider 40. Mark McLaurin comes up with the ball as Trevor Harris felt some heat, tried to escape the pocket, and was tracked down from behind. A.C. Leonard knocks it loose. McLaurin is there to gobble it up. Taylor Cornelius has just 4 wins in his CFL career, but one of them was here. It might have been the most impressive game of his career last season, and it was on his birthday. For more on the Elks quarterback, let's send it down to Britt Dorn.
Well, when the quarterback controversy continued into this week and we didn't know who was going to start for the Elks, we asked Taylor Cornelius about when he found out, and he said, you know, I was never out of it mentally, so I walked into this week telling myself I'm going to prepare like every other week, and then he did find out that he was the starter. But when asked about week 3 against the Argos and that quarterback controversy shuffle that happened, he said, well, I have to tell myself, you can't put coaches in a situation to have to make a decision like that. Head coach Chris Jones was asked about putting Taylor back in. He said, well, he had some really good games at the end of last year, including that one here in Saskatchewan, and he had a really good camp, so let's get back to that. And he also said, we have to call a better game for him, guys.
Something that they'll certainly want to do, and I know Chris Jones has talked about a few drops that some of the receivers have had, including, you know, some missed passes from Cornelius, but the whole offense needs to get in sync here, right, Suits?
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, if he's your best chance and he's your best guy, let him work through some of these things, you know, and that's what surprised, I think, a lot of people in that Toronto game.
2nd and 6 this time for Cornelius. Brown flares out to his left. Cornelius rolling to his right. There's a flag on the play. Guns it down the field. A good throw into the hands of Dunbar. Dunbar to the 5, to the end zone and in. It's a touchdown, but it's a holding call against Edmonton. Penalty. 2nd down. And a 36-yard strike is wiped out by the offensive line.
You know, when you put a player playing on the left side of the offensive line and you put him on the right side, it's kind of like asking a right-handed person to change to lefty in an hour. It's super difficult, and I don't want to look like we're picking on David Foucault. He's an outstanding offensive lineman. But
you're saying he's in a tough spot.
Yeah, but changing your footwork to now play the right side of the O-line when you played the left side all season. I mean, how many reps could he have had this week in practice? Not many.
Not enough. Wipes off Dunbar's first touchdown as a member of Edmonton. They've gone for 36. 2nd and 16 now instead for 15 in white. 3 options out to the left for Cornelius again. Avoids pressure. passes the line of scrimmage and has to just go down just inside the 40. Got 7 yards back. And now Edmonton in a 3rd and long in Rider territory.
Well, he's not facing Anthony Lanier, but Foucault is playing against Brian Cox here, the backup, who's playing for Lanier. And let's take a look, because, again, just trying to get your footwork right. Got away with a holding there, and Taylor Cornelius flushed out really quickly. What he did do was smart, because he got the team back in field goal range. That 7 yards got it done. So now they're trying to help with the technique of swapping sides.
This is a 46-yarder. Faithful's long on the season. It's 43, and he missed in the first quarter. This one is up, and that one is wide left as well. Mario Alford looking to bring it out. He does, and obviously he's always dangerous. Near sideline, trying to cut it back up, and he's got something cooking. Super Mario with a speed burst at midfield, down to the 30, the 20. He's going to trot in for a touchdown, but there's a flag back at the 20. Alford, simply brilliant.
The ring to return, holding Saskatchewan number 32. 10-yard penalty. First down.
Alford was that close to taking it the distance. A flag.
It looks like right here in the middle of your screen, it's number 22, CJ Rivas, the linebacker, who you can see clearly had the outside shoulder pads and full jersey grab on Coney Ely. I'm not sure Ely's making that tackle.
Didn't need
Mario
to do
Alford.
it.
No.
I think Alford is going home no matter what. Now they'll hand it off. Nice move right at the line of scrimmage by Morrow.
Scan the QR promo code on screen to pay $30 less on a Crave Total 6-month plan versus a monthly subscription to get access to the most talked about series and latest hit movies.
2nd and 3 after a 7-yard pickup. Morrow bumps into his own man and goes down. The Elks will take advantage of that and wrap him up quickly.
Adam Konar basically plugged the hole, and when Morrow tried to redirect and bounce back into the opposite side, he's going to step up on this side and fill in the hole. Watching just a little stunt up front, and there he is, right in the hole. Morrow tries to change directions, and they both stumble. Two massive offensive plays taken off the boards for holding.
Touchdown for Dunbar and a 125-yard return for Mario Alford. Korsak from his own 3 kicks it away. Sims gets underneath it at midfield. 53-yard kick. CJ Sims trying to stay on his feet. Takes it back down inside the 50. And once again, excellent field position to start here for Cornelius and Edmonton.
Craig Dickinson off to a 2-1 start overall, but has struggled here at Mosaic Stadium, which, you know, I've noticed that there's been a trend in the first few weeks of the season where visiting teams have won more than they've lost, which is unusual in football because of trying to coordinate your offense when you're in the opposing team with crowd noise, and especially in this stadium or Canadians over in Winnipeg. Very difficult.
Here's Cornelius.
Or, excuse me, Investors Group.
Out to his right. I wasn't going to say anything.
Canadians was a long time ago.
I thought we'd gone back in time there.
Well, we have with the jerseys with the Riders. I mean, I just talk a little, old school.
Cornelius, they got him moving that time out to his right. Looked for Dunbar, but it does fall incomplete, so that'll bring up 2nd and 10 with just under 7 minutes remaining here in a 2-0 football game. First of 4 this weekend in the Canadian Football League. Aaron Moore Over to the left of his quarterback. 4 options out to the wide side of the field for Cornelius. Looks to the right, throws to the right. He's got a man, but Maurice French bobbles it. I think he was thinking he was going to take it a little bit further, but he didn't haul it in cleanly. That's a drop right there.
Yeah, and it's a bit of an accuracy issue again, because French, nice move to jump inside of Nick Marshall, and then it's low and a little bit behind him. Now he should have caught it. Definitely should have caught it.
But if he hits him up top in stride, he's gone.
He hits him in stride, he scores. Like, he runs untouched to the end zone. There's nobody else back there.
Julian standing just inside his own 50. Does Mario Alford have some more magic in him here tonight? This one will bounce at the 5 and all the way into the end zone, all the way through it. Jamal Morrow, steady diet with the ball so far tonight. Here's Trevor Harris talking about his running back.
Contact balance, explosive, smart, humble, team. The guy is just what you want. Well, he exemplifies what a great running back is in this league. And, you know, we're fortunate to have a guy like that. And I love having him in the backfield. He's always such a very open book in terms of, you know, being able to talk about certain things. He's super humble, a great spirit, and I just love having him as a teammate. He's awesome.
We chatted with him earlier this week, and boy, he was a ball of energy, no doubt about that. Short pickup here, and as they try to move it to Bain.
I can't, Dustin, think of a better compliment to give a player than when, you know, one of your teammates says he is a great teammate.
Right off the bat, didn't he? Yeah.
And I also made a note, contact balance. I like that. I am going to steal that from Trevor Harris. You may hear it a few times. Contact balance.
He's a huge fan growing up of LaDainian Tomlinson, living down in California. And he's made a big impact here the last couple of years. Completion on the far side to Bain on second down. I remember watching Morrow as a returner a couple of years ago. Remember? And we keep saying, boy, there's more there with Jamal Morrow. We'll see how they eventually work him in. And certainly the patience has paid off for him.
Well, absolutely, and you know, for a lot of players, most of them, I mean, not the quarterbacks, but most of them, you make the squad on the teams, either returner or maybe you're a cover guy or linebacker, and you make the squad that way, and then you work your way into the starting lineup.
Korczak stands at his own 30. C.J. Sims, who's provided a few thrilling moments since taking over the return game for Edmonton. This kick bounces right at the 20, pretty much stops there. 47-yard kick. Sims picks it up. He's got nowhere to go. Back to the 25 and no further. Four generations face off as Lily Singh hosts Battle of the Generations. Monday, 9/8 Mountain. Set your PVR only on CTV. Just over 4 minutes remaining here in the first half. Edmonton with a 3-0 lead on the Riders. Riders with 4 2-and-outs so far in this football game offensively.
After the big drive to start all the way down to the 3.
Mosaic crowd getting behind their defense here. Cornelius keeps it. Misses Dunbar. Dunbar got a hand on it. That's one that Cornelius may possibly want back.
Go back to back now. You remember the slant. That slant at the end of the last drive, and now this one, which was set up for a nice 10-yard first play to start the drive and adjust the field position, but just a little bit off the target.
Edmonton 6 for 10 on second down conversion so far in this game. Needing 10 here. 3 to the left, 2 to the right for Cornelius. Gets it away, has a completion, and that's a first down as he goes to Vincent Forbes-Montbeau, who hauls it in.
There you go. That's locking in, and making a few adjustments on the scope and then firing it in there because, again, a little bit of pressure, but the accuracy was on the throwing end. David Foucault off the edge. He gets a bull rush this time. Straight bull rush, and look at him. He's starting to get that footwork down. A lot better there off that edge.
From their 40, they'll hand it off, a push up towards the 45 as Shannon Brooks gets his 5th carry of the season as we creep inside 3 minutes at Mosaic.
Perfectly.
It's just weird. It's a strange, bizarre half. There's good stuff. There's bad stuff. It's weird.
Fast first quarter.
Yeah.
I would agree. I mean,
It's been weird. A couple of touchdowns taken off the board.
it's exactly what we were saying at the break there. Man, this has been a weird one. They'll hand it off to Brooks, churning those legs, and he's going to be stopped probably 2 yards shy of a first down as they get Shannon Brooks into this ball game. Just 18 yards rushing so far for him this season.
Now, I mean, 3-0, so not a lot of offense. I just mentioned the 2 touchdowns taken off. That makes a difference in the first half. But these two teams, for the last 10 times they've met, the game has been decided in the final 3 minutes. The last 10. That goes back to 2018. They go down to the wire every time they face each other. Sometimes it's a low-scoring game. Sometimes it's not, but one possession right to the end.
Well, it's worked out well for the Riders. They've won 8 of those. So they've come up clutch when needed. Julian with the kick. Alford takes it just inside the 15, a 49-yard kick. Alford this time slips as he tried to cut it back. Reeves down the field on the tackle there as Trevor Harris comes out. Just 6 pass attempts for Harris so far in this ball game. 3 completions for 40 yards and a fumble.
Yeah, but that's a little bit of play calling, and I think when you're playing against Edmonton, who really struggled against the run, you're going to run the ball a whole bunch more than you have all season to see if they've made the adjustments to stop it. In the first quarter, they didn't. Second quarter, better for Edmonton defensively against the run.
Just over 2 minutes to work here for Harris. 3 options, wide side left. Takes a quick glance that way, throws that way down the field, and he's gone inside the 50. Big time completion as he finds Picton for the first time tonight.
Kind of a secret weapon. Trevor Harris saying that don't sleep on 81. He's playing in there for Jake Winicky tonight. And the U of R grad comes up with a big one. University of Regina.
First catch of the season for Picton is a big one, and the Riders in business. 1st and 10 from the Edmonton 45. Harris with time. There's a flag on the play. He's got a completion up at the 30 as he got it to Kendall Watson. And I believe this flag is against Edmonton.
Legal contact on receiver. Edmonton number 37. That penalty's declined. First down.
Bang, bang, and the Riders are knocking on the door. 17 yards that time to Watson, the 24-year-old. Now Harris wants to throw again. Gets it away just in time. Receiver had stumbled.
Yeah.
Looked to go back to Watson again, and he couldn't stay up.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. He came out of his break, and he just stumbled a little bit, and Trevor Harris was feeling the pressure, so he had to get rid of it. And had he not stumbled, he's again walking in. Very, very close, both these teams. But a good drive. Field goal range already. And lots of time to think about more if you're Saskatchewan.
Taking about 30 seconds to get down the field here. And now they're 2nd and 10 on the Edmonton 28. Trailing 3-0 here at home on Thursday night. 4 receivers to the left for Harris. Steps up. Has a completion. Back to Picton. A couple of moves. And he's taken down at the 10. Picton activated on this drive.
Some
Great work after the catch here. First of all, smart of number 81, Mitch Picton, to get into the middle and find that soft spot on the crossing route. He knew he was being chased in a man look from Dwayne Thompson. So Thompson's in chase. You got to keep running through the crosser. He does that and then breaks a couple of tackles.
Second trip to the red zone tonight. They work from the 11. Here's Harris. Quickly gets it away, far side, looking for Jones, had his hands on it, but it falls incomplete.
Little casual, just a little bit casual from Tevin Jones there as he
just letting it drop in there as opposed to going and getting it.
Well, remember they worked together, Sean Bain, and that pressure forced Trevor Harris to not throw it where he needed to, and it just looked like he was just a little casual with that one, kind of reaching out rather than getting the hands underneath it.
2nd and 10 from the 11 here for Harris. Riders looking to find their way onto the board in the first half. Out to Morrow. Morrow with some room to the 10. Stays on his feet. Finally tracked down and taken down. Excellent effort from Morrow, but the Elks are able to wrap him up.
Well, pursuit gets this done. You know, and if you want to figure out how to stop the run on defense, which is this play essentially, an extended run, you get 12 hats to the football. Because of the relentless pursuit angles and pressure and defenders just flying around trying to get there, limit the gain and force the field goal.
Mark McLaurin, who recovered that fumble in the first quarter there to make sure Morrow can't find a path to the end zone, which sets up a chip shot here, a 16-yarder for Lothar from just inside the left half. And this weird football game is now tied at 3. Halftime coming up. Kate and the guys, great job on that silent count earlier in the broadcast. And they got a lot of breakdown, no doubt about it.
Clearly an all-star there, Kate taking the snap. And if you missed the pregame show, you got to see it on tsn.ca because she was quarterback in the group. And one of those cases where the quarterback really carries the team.
Really important. Really important quarterback. The rest of it just parts that are mixed
really
together.
Carries the team.
Cornelius over the middle, defended well. Dean all over it. French never had a chance. Great timing by Larry Dean.
Yeah, it really was. And you know, he's seen a little bit of this where Taylor Cornelius is looking right over the middle on this little dump pass because of the quick pressure, and he's seen it in the first half a bunch. Rallied to make the tackle. This time he just jumped it.
Second and 10 on the Edmonton 40. Trips out to the right here for Cornelius. Steps up, goes that way. That's up for grabs, and it falls incomplete. That ball bounced a good 10 feet in the air, but Lanier couldn't get underneath it.
Yeah, this is clearly something that the linebacking core and the secondary for the Riders have talked about on the bench between series. They've said, look, he's getting so much pressure, he's throwing the quick game, and even if he throws deep, he's getting it out of his hands really quickly. Start jumping the routes. Start jumping the first look, because he doesn't have time to pump fake you and beat you on a double move.
He's going where his eyes are.
Going right away. So I'm sure Jason Shivers, their DC, said, guys, jump the routes. He's throwing to the first guy he's looking at.
TJ Rivas getting his hands on that one. Julian kicks it away. Alford takes it at the 21. 50-yard kick. Mario Alford trying to find some space. That will not happen. Neatly wrapped up down the field with 20 seconds on the clock in the first half. You know, in week 1, these two teams were tied at halftime as well. It was 10-10, and it could be 10-10 here. A couple of touchdowns wiped off the board due to penalties.
A 4-point game, week 1 of the season, over there in Edmonton.
Much talked about goal line stand in the fourth quarter by the Riders defense. Asked Trevor Harris about that this week, and he goes, to be honest with you, I was just thinking we're going to go down and score as soon as we get that ball back. And then he said once they stopped the second down, you know, he thought kind of getting interesting here.
I think both these teams at halftime, Dustin, are going to go in and look at the tablet, and they're going to say, we had some chances.
Yeah.
On offense. I mean, that Dunbar play, that was taken off the board. I think that was one of maybe Taylor Cornelius' best throw of this.
On the run, he gunned that
of the season, not just this game. They'll look at the tablet, and they'll say there's some opportunities for some big plays on offense.
Edmonton with 3 singles to have a 3-0 lead. And the Riders put together a pretty good drive at the end of the first half. And they settled for a Brett Lother field goal. He knocked it through from 16 yards. He's now 9 of 12 on the season. A few Elks fans in attendance here tonight. A couple different shades of green in the crowd this evening. Mitch Bickton got involved in the offense on that drive.
One of the ones where you feel the buzz in the city. Like, you know, there's regular season games, and then there's those games where you feel like, yeah, it feels different walking through the mall and a hotel and whatever. Everybody's wearing their Rider jerseys, so that's what the Elks are facing here at Mosaic.
3-3 matchup at halftime. Chris Jones and his Edmonton Elks looking for their first win of the season. Taylor Cornelius 6 of 13 for 75 yards in that first half. Trevor Harris 7 of 12, 118. Had a fumble. No touchdowns yet in this game. Oh, look at that Coors Light tower. I jinxed it.
Choked. Yeah, you jinxed it.
I jinxed it. I shouldn't have said anything about it. We're underway. Second half. Over 27,000 at Mosaic on this Thursday night. Great crowd. A return here by Sims, wrapped up just inside the 35. And here's a look at Taylor Cornelius.
Well, as Brett mentioned, Taylor Cornelius led his team rushing the football. He ran it 5 times. He rushed for 37 yards. The first long drive that went down and finished with a missed field goal. He took off and ran a bunch. So when it broke down, he was picking up first down with his legs, and then kind of went away from the running game. Both teams did in the second quarter.
The offense by far looked best when he was moving around. Mitchell and Dunbar swooping behind their quarterback. They'll give it to Brown. He's got some blocking on the far side. Cornelius trying to get up there to help him. And Brown's got a first down up to midfield to start the third quarter. 16-yard pickup.
Real nice jump cut by Kevin Brown here. He takes that inside handoff, jump cut out to or just a straight cut to the outside, and then the speed kicks in. Get the speed, outrun the angle of Amari Henderson. Get that run game going.
Brown quiet in the first half. Just 7 carries for 18 yards. And now that bumps up to 36 after the 16-yarder.
Right, but if you got 7 there, you got 5 with Taylor Cornelius. Now you got 12 runs in the first half. Project that's 24 times you're running out of the backfield, whether you're a quarterback or your tailback, and now you've got balance in the offense. So it was there. And again, I think both teams went in and looked at the tablet and said there was opportunities. Dunbar had a touchdown called back. A slant route over the middle to French was a touchdown if thrown just a little bit better, and Saskatchewan can say the same thing about a couple of throws.
The Elks come into this game tonight averaging just 12.8 points per game on the year, averaging less than 60 yards per game on the ground. They've already surpassed that, and we're just starting the third quarter of this football game. So maybe something to build on offensively. There's an injured Rider down on the field. It's Amari Henderson who's now up and is grimacing as he walks off towards the Riders sideline.
Yeah, he dove for Kevin Brown and then hit the ground really hard. It's kind of a dive to push him out of bounds. Brown got outside of him. Here he comes, and then there's a push right there to get him out of bounds, and then watch him hit. Bam! Just right down face mask into the turf.
Foot in the armpit there too. First and 10 on the Edmonton 54. Cornelius, 3 options out to his left. We'll go back to Brown again. A nice burst, gets around that line and takes it for almost 9 yards. They'll give him about 8 on first down.
Quickness. Now you're getting down inside of plus territory. Still a good push in the D line from Saskatchewan. They're getting in the backfield, but Brown in 2 consecutive plays now has been able to bounce outside of that initial penetration.
He'll get a breather with a smile on his face. Second and a couple. Cornelius up under center, trying to keep this thing moving. And a big push from the big quarterback. And that looks like enough for an Edmonton first down.
That smile from Kevin Brown, it kind of looked like his teammates were coming up like and at halftime they were sitting in the locker, and Stephen McAdoo or one of the coaches, maybe Chris Jones, walked over and said, hey, we're going to give you the ball a bunch in the second half, so be ready. That was that kind of smile on the sideline going, they said they were going to do it.
And they're doing it.
They're doing it.
They're really doing it. That worked well a couple of times. Cornelius keeps the drive moving, picking up that first down. There's Brown settling in to the left of his big quarterback. Dunbar will swing back into the slot on the left as well. Cornelius gets it to the former Ryder Moore. He takes a heavy pop from his old teammate Nick Marshall. Held on to the football and pick up of about 3 yards.
Yeah, this is a timing issue, and so Moore takes the brunt of it. He jumps back up, and that's part of the game. But ouch. Cornelius waited just about 3 or 4 steps too much. Give him the wall earlier, he can turn, and now he can take on that hit.
Almost looked like he saw he had him, then took a quick peek, and then came back and set him up for some punishment. 2nd and 6. Cornelius in trouble here.
Look out.
Turns, falling, throws one far side. Mitchell is there. Hauls it in. But it won't be near enough, and that'll bring up 3rd down and long. No gain on the play, but an excellent catch from Dylan Mitchell.
Yeah, I think Mitchell thought he was at the front marker. He was actually at the back marker, but what a catch. I mean, it's a fantastic catch. Pressure up front from Micah Johnson. He's going after Taylor Cornelius, and watch this, right on the sideline, foot in bounds. But he's at the back marker, not the front marker. He got up, went right back to the huddle, and went, oh, turned around and went to the sideline.
Micah Johnson took a quick knee. He's going to be all right, I believe. He had a sack in week 1.
A little bit of a cramp. The calf. You ran about 25 yards on that last play. That's a big man to be sprinting that far. Cornelius full retreat when he threw that one.
He was falling kind of backwards when he let her go. Maury Alford in the distance there on your screen. Returned a missed field goal, 125 yards, but had it wiped off due to a hold. Julian, once again, he's punted from this area on the field multiple times so far this evening. This one almost from midfield. Bounces at the 4. And once again, into the end zone. Edmonton back on top, 4-3. Trevor Harris with the ball. Joining us, Trevor Harris. A lot of pressure in his face so far tonight.
Well, that's what I mean. When they go and look at the tablet at halftime, they will see that they had open receivers, they had open backs out of the backfield, but because of that pressure that he was under, caused a fumble here too. Because of that pressure, just couldn't get traction offensively, but there are some plays to be made down the field.
Showed some signs of life late in the second quarter. Pressure again. Harris.
It is. Same story.
As that one fall incomplete. Serezna almost on him immediately.
Browning Council again. We're talking about these guys that are playing tackle, coming back. He started the season, keep in mind, but then Gerald Hawkins took that position. He's got the block down assignment there, and they're leaving Jake Serezna free. That's probably ill-advised.
Weird strategy.
Yeah.
2nd and 10. Harris, just 3-man pressure this time, finds a completion, and a good tackle will keep Sean Bain just shy of a first down. Looked like it was Konar who wrapped him up. Thompson in on the play as well.
Yeah, you think about this Edmonton defense that's given up a ton of yards along the ground, and right now they're on pace for their first game of the season under 100 yards along the ground. They had shy of 50 in the first half, and a lot of that came in the first quarter. So they made some adjustments and were even better in the second quarter. They've given up 45, so they're on pace for under 100. Their best performance of the season in that regard.
Corsac kicks it away on 3rd and 1. Purifoy takes it, a 48-yard kick. Purifoy back to the 25. A little stiff arm to get himself a couple of extra yards. Good start to the second half for Kevin Brown. We'll see if the Elks commit to the run game when we return to Regina.
Got the tournament going on. I want to say a special congratulations to the Saskatchewan Valkyries, who are 8th time they've won the WWCFL Women's Tackle Football Championship. Beat Calgary.
Congratulations to them. A handoff to Brown here. A short pickup on 1st down.
Those under 16 kids are all-stars across the country.
The provincial kind of all-star teams coming together.
Exactly. Enjoying some low-scoring defensive football here tonight. Chris Jones.
The defensive kids are loving it, eh? 4-3. Edmonton leads. Less than 10 to play in the 3rd quarter. Cornelius 2nd and 8. Has a completion. That's his running back Brown, who breaks a tackle and takes it outside the 40 for a 1st down.
Show blitz by Larry Dean. He shows blitz and then he drops out, and Taylor Cornelius sticks with his read because there was enough separation there that Dean actually missed the tackle. And Cornelius could put it on him real quick. But Dean showed the blitz, dropped back, and was about 2 yards away from that throw.
1st and 10. Cornelius. Dunbar wide open, complete to the Riders' side of the field. A big pickup on 1st down for Stephen Dunbar Jr., 17 yards.
Now for Edmonton, this is right about the position on the field where the wall goes up somehow. But back-to-back nice plays. A dump over the middle to Brown. He gets some extra yards after that. This was the touchdown play that Dunbar had called back in the first half. It was the exact same play. Push to the flat, little curl. He broke a tackle and took off, so they went right back to it.
Now the crowd at Mosaic trying to get behind their defense. Cornelius has it to Brooks. Brooks down inside the 30. Flag on the play as he lunges ahead. And is there a hold as things tried to open up for Brooks on the far side of the field? Would have gone for 31.
Got a flag, but we talk about the timing. Remember when they got the big hit outside on Moore? Kyron Moore got hit by Nick Marshall. And that timing was just a little bit off, and Cornelius held the ball a little bit longer for 3 or 4 more steps. Well, that one to Brooks, he gave it to him immediately. That way he could turn the corner.
Objectionable conduct by the coach interfering with the official on the field. This will be a 10-yard penalty enforced from the end of the play and a 1st down for Edmonton.
Well, you don't need that. Brooks' pickup still counts. They're going to bring it back 10 after his 30-yard pickup. Here's a look at it.
Well, Chris Jones is standing on the white stripe. The official's trying to run down the field, and he runs right into him. And he's trying to argue that he was behind the stripe.
Leaning over top of him, maybe, though. Cornelius has Mitchell trying to spin past Marshall. Marshall grabs him and throws him down, but a good pickup on 1st down for Edmonton.
Now, technically, you have to be a yard away from the white stripe, not just standing right on it. But it looks like they're going to recover here and at least get 2nd and short. Well, when you're struggling you find new ways to struggle sometimes.
Yeah, I don't think anybody had that one. Like, nobody bet on that one tonight, eh?
No.
Chris Jones penalty on the sideline.
I wouldn't think so.
2nd and 2. Cornelius up under center. Can they find a couple more here? Lunging ahead, and that's where that big long body pays off as he takes it up to the 20, and a fresh set of downs for the visitors.
So survived that penalty.
Got those yards back. Jones watching on as Edmonton works their way to the red zone. They've only been here 6 other times. 3 of them ended up in touchdowns. 50% clip, similar to the Riders coming in. Now Cornelius. Play clock ticks down. Brown in behind him. 1st and 10 from the Rider 20. They'll get it to Kyron Moore. Is the blocking there? Moore takes it down inside the 10 for a first down. Stopped just shy of the 5-yard line.
It's a good-looking play. I mean, this is the evolution of the run game when Brown's working up the middle. Then you stretch the edges by getting Kyron Moore. Good speed, just a little flip underneath. You see how Larry Dean was influenced. Larry Dean, the middle linebacker, he slid right to Kevin Brown immediately. It's his #1 priority when Brown had a couple of early runs in the drive.
1st and goal for Edmonton from the Riders 6. They'll give it to Brown, bouncing his way down towards the end zone, and he's going to be stopped just short. Looks like they had initial contact on him almost at the line of scrimmage, but he found some space with some extra effort.
Yeah, I would say they're watching the urgency in Taylor Cornelius's play, watching the second effort on Kevin Brown's play. If you didn't know any better, you would come to this game and think, you know what, this looks like an Edmonton team that is playing desperate football to try and get their first win. And guess what? You'd be right.
Cornelius, 2nd and goal from the Rider 1, pushing through to the end zone. Touchdown, Edmonton. Cornelius finishes it off. Some pushing and shoving after, but we have a touchdown at Mosaic. More flags fly. Coney Ely swinging wildly.
Coney Ely and Micah Johnson. Keep your distance from that class.
Ding, ding, ding.
I'm just saying, like,
you don't want to get stuck in the middle.
I don't want to be anywhere near that boat. I'm telling you right now, that's a great push by Taylor Cornelius. Again, that you could just see that little edge in him tonight, and it carried on here. Now, you know, I'm never a fan of getting a penalty after the play is over. That can get you beat really quickly, but you can see the pushing and the shoving and the extra stuff. Now Ely this is Micah Johnson. Oh, he gave him that left hook. There was the penalties. So again, Edmonton scores a touchdown, take the lead, and now are going to take a penalty. Well after the play was over.
Yeah, it kind of started. It looked like Dalkey kind of got his hands in the face of Cornelius after the rule of touchdown, so Cornelius gave him a push, and then Ely and Johnson get involved as well.
Those guys, man. Look at those two guys. Micah Johnson, Coney Ely. Arms as big as your waist. Coney Ely, by the way, playing defensive lineman, playing on short yardage on offense.
6'4", 275 pounds is what Ely brings in the tail of the tape.
And it's all in, you know, Micah's 278 as well, and but he's got about 75 each in those arms, I would think. And he just realized, wait a minute, am I on the extra?
Well, the officials are still trying to sort this out, and I wonder if that punch to the face wasn't a fist, but it was open hand, sort of punch to the face of Johnson. They've got the notepads out. The drive was a 9-play, 83-yard drive by Edmonton, and this time, as Taylor Cornelius said to Britt Dort at halftime, we have to finish these drives with touchdowns, not field goals or singles, and they managed to do it that time.
There are 3 fouls on the play, 2 against Saskatchewan and one against Edmonton. The first foul occurred during the play, face mask, Saskatchewan number 11. The next 2 fouls are both misconduct for unnecessary roughness. Edmonton number 90 and Saskatchewan number 4. There is a difference of 15 yards that will be applied on the convert.
Reaction from the crowd at Mosaic lets you know exactly what they're thinking.
Well, let's start with Larry Dean, because they called Larry Dean on a face mask.
Elected to have the penalty balance on the kickoff. So the 15-yard penalty will be applied on the kickoff.
That's why Taylor Cornelius was upset. He grabbed his face mask at the end, and then Coney Ely comes in to protect his quarterback, and he takes a shot. And I didn't see the retaliation from Micah Johnson, but there must have been something that happened maybe before the punch.
Faithful out to make it an 11-3 ball game with just under 5 minutes on the clock in the third. And that one he's able to knock through. Cornelius and the Elks finally finding the end zone, getting some breathing room.
Things right now, and yet they're still having this amazing attitude, and it's something you can definitely learn from. But I did ask him, well, did any of the kids ask you about football? He said, not one. They were too busy playing games with me.
That's how kids are.
Yeah, and that's outstanding. It's great that so many players across this league will do so much in the community, tons of public speaking at high schools and going to the Children's Hospital, and it gives you perspective in a hurry.
Nice of Trevor Harris to spend his bye week helping others. Alford, oh, nice move. Mario Alford wrapped up and taken down at the 20. Another flag on that shorter return as Trevor Harris gets the ball back. 8 of 14 for a $124 and finds himself and his team down by 8.
Saskatchewan number 19. 10-yard penalty and a first down.
The success in the Taylor Cornelius drive that ended in a touchdown started and really ended with Kevin Brown. I mean, Cornelius punched it in on the quarterback sneak the last play, but it really started with Brown kind of getting established, and Saskatchewan did a lot of the same with Morrow in the first quarter and then went away from it.
They have gone away from it quite a bit, haven't they? Jamal Morrow came out. Trevor Harris didn't throw a pass for the first 10 minutes of the football game, and they had success, but he still stuck 32 yards on just 7 carries. Now Harris, he's going to look down the field far side, and that's hauled in. Spectacular stuff from Emelis as he goes up and gets it.
You know, great players do this. Emelis got the penalty that put them down in the shadow of their own goalpost, but then he bounces right back on the very next play and makes an outstanding catch on the sideline. I mean, this is in coverage, contested catch, fights off the coverage, 27-yard gain, gets him out of the hole. That's a biggie coming right off the penalty. Could have ducked his head. He could have been depressed and missed that.
Second catch of the game for Emelis. Gives him 47 yards on the day, and now they get it into the belly of Jamal Morrow.
One more look at a really nice catch by Sam Emelis on the sideline. And again, you know, it's a game of what's next. What's your next play? That's most important. Not what just happened. If you made a mistake, you got to flush it quickly.
Kai Gray actually played that one pretty well. Emil's just
as good as you can, really.
Phenomenal catch. 2nd and 4 for Harris this time. Wants to go down the field again. Drops it in there just inside the 45. Sean Bain hauls it in.
That's a throw. That's a money throw, a big-time throw. Outside on the corner route, 1 foot in, maintains possession all the way through the play. Trevor Harris drops it in the bucket.
Timed perfectly to the former Calgary Stampeder, and it goes for 29.
The receivers know, don't they?
He said, I had it right there.
He's pointing to Trevor going, wow, that was nice.
Down to the Edmonton 43 as the Riders offense finally shows some life. Harris throwing again, wide open, far side, Watson, and he'll take it down to the 20 as Trevor Harris with back-to-back completions.
Well, you know, you go to the first one, and it's a sweet catch on the sideline, and then you go to the second one, and it's an outstanding throw from Trevor Harris, and this one is drawn up by the OC. You win that play if you're Saskatchewan because you drew it up, you got him. You get to run those kind of plays once or twice a game, and it worked.
Harris and the Riders cooking on offense right now. Harris time again, this time towards the end zone, intercepted. Waiting for it there was Marcus Lewis, and a turnover in the end zone kills the drive for the Riders. Saskatchewan was marching. Bain never really had a crack at it. Lewis says thank you very much.
Guys deep, and they basically split the field into quarters. That interception was thrown right to the outside quarter player in a cover 4 deep look. I mean, there he is right there, and just veteran quarterback that's fooled by it because threw right into coverage.
2.5 minutes remaining in the third quarter. They'll go back to Brown again. Cornelius trying to get in there and block for him, but nothing on this first down carry.
I mean, just take a look. There's no responsibility in the flat. So Lewis is going to just drop back to his outside quarter position. He doesn't have to worry about any flat route because the flat route's taken up by the linebacker. There's the flat route taken up. And now he's just saying, hey, I'm in the outside quarter here. I'll just fall underneath this throw. Trevor Harris just read a different type of defense. Lewis was a little bit, I won't say slow because he was baiting the throw.
Yeah. Not going to have many easier ones than that if you're Lewis. Here's Cornelius now. Out of the pocket, off to the left, and the race is on. Cornelius first down, just outside the 40. And once again, 13 more yards for Cornelius puts him over 50 in the game.
Be tempting for the Saskatchewan defensive line in this game with all the changes on the O-line for Edmonton up front. To really sort of, I won't say get sloppy, but they try to, you know, make a guy miss by going inside and giving up containment, thinking you can get there quickly. It was working in the first half, and Cornelius was under pressure. But now he's escaping and making them pay for that if they give up contain.
Back to Brown. Brown pushing ahead a couple of yards, but not much more on first down. That'll set up a 2nd and long.
You know, Larry Dean, the great linebackers don't just scrape. You know, they don't scrape this way. They scrape this way. It's a subtle thing, but it's the great ones do it. They can read it, scrape to the hole as they're moving forward so that they're making contact, not catching the tailback.
Big down late in the third quarter. Edmonton up 11-3. 2nd and long. Cornelius throws it short in front of Maurice French.
Yeah, I think it looked like French, and he's relatively new, you know, played last week, but relatively new to the receiving corps. I think he went a little too deep on that route. Blitz was coming, and I'm sure Cornelius will talk to him about that because he didn't have time to throw it the length of the route that French ran.
So that'll bring up 3rd and 8. And Jake Julian who was released by Ottawa earlier this season and signed immediately by Edmonton, is ready to kick this away, standing on his own 31. Mario Alford waiting back at his own 10. Alford watches this bounce at the 21, takes it on the high hop, 50-yard kick. Alford does not emerge from a pile of players on the far side of the field. Formula One returns to TSN this Sunday as racers fight for gold at the British Grand Prix. Catch the action at 8:30 Eastern, 6:30 Pacific on TSN. So Trevor Harris gets the ball back. Harris is 11 of 18 for 203 yards, has a fumble and a pick. And his team still certainly within striking distance. Fakes the handoff to Morrow. Pressure coming. Curtis got him. Wraps him up and takes him down. Noah Curtis with the first sack of his CFL career. That'll do it for 3 quarters at Mosaic in Regina. Curtis getting home on Trevor Harris. Takes him down. An Elks team that comes into this game dead last in the league against the run.
Yeah, so better there. I mean, they had to correct that. We talked about off the top of the show that for the Elks to get their first win of the season, they were going to have to roll up their sleeves and win that trench warfare. You're going to have to win against the run. You're going to have to run the ball successfully. They got a drive for a touchdown with Kevin Brown, big time involved with it, and their run defense has been much better.
It certainly made a difference so far in this ball game. We'll see what the Riders can do. I mean, that last drive they had, Trevor Harris, 3 big completions, and then he throws an interception. It's not like they have to abandon the run. They're only down 11-3, but they have started to get the passing game going a little bit. Harris over 200 yards as we enter the 4th quarter of play on a beautiful Thursday night to kick off week 5 in the Canadian Football League. Harris goes to Morrow, his running back. Broke 1 tackle, was eventually tripped down in the 2nd and 12 situation. And that'll bring up 3rd down for the Riders, and they'll be forced to kick this away.
And that's what the defense wants you to do. They want you, they're going to drop off, play zone defense, and they won't get into a man-man matchup where one guy slips and it's a touchdown. And they hope on 2nd and long that you throw it underneath. They rally to make the tackle.
It's the 6th 2 and out of the ball game for the home side. CJ Sims waiting in the distance with Purifoy for this kick. And this one will come to Sims. Hustles over. Couldn't stay in bounds after a 50-yard kick from Korsak.
Well, we talked about the changes up front for the Edmonton Elks to move David Foucault from left guard to right tackle, and he's really started to settle in. This is later in the game. He's got that bull rush handled. Inside rush there by Brown. He takes him inside. That was fine. Now, this was the holding call that took a touchdown off the board, and this one was trouble with Cox coming real quick off the edge, and he drags him down, but he's slowly played better as this game has gone on.
Cornelius hands it off this time to Brooks, who's back into the ball game.
And he's a veteran. He's been around for 6 years, University of Montreal, and a guy that will get it figured out. You know, my concern for him, and that's why we pointed it out early on, was the switch from one side to the other. Not necessarily even the change of position, because it changes your technique, which hand you punch with, your footwork, all of it. And it's not just an easy, well, just put your other foot forward. That's fine. In alignment, it's how you completely move. And early on, he had some struggles, took a couple holding calls, and has settled in nicely since.
Well, they did sign Brett Boyko. Boyko's the 6th offensive lineman tonight, and then they moved Foucault out to the right tackle position. Verhoevic slides in on the left guard, and
And we haven't talked about him
so
at all. Yeah, I mean, Micah Johnson's in the middle of that defense, so is Miles Brown, and haven't really talked about Kruhovic out of Western. First start in the Canadian Football League at left guard for David Foucault tonight.
2nd and 5 on the Edmonton 31. Cornelius gets it to Moore. He's got a first down, looking for Moore. He stumbles just shy of the 50 when he eventually goes out of bounds.
Well, they've run a few fly sweeps to Moore where he's taken that underneath handoff, and this time they're going to fake it, running the inside again. That gets all the interior defenders, Revis, Larry Dean, and gets them all chasing the angle rather than cutting in front of the ball carrier. And good gain, almost 20 yards on first down.
Yeah, they give him 18, and it moves it up to the 49. Just over 12 and a half to play. Cornelius into the flat. Back to Moore again. This time he braces himself for contact. And it looks like Amari Henderson took the worst of that. And he is down in pain on the sideline. That was an instant reaction from Henderson on the contact with Kyron Moore.
Take a look and see what happened to Henderson. He lowers his shoulder. Keep your head up, kids.
They'll take a look at Amari Henderson. What a beautiful shot of Mosaic. And the words from that song, something tells me this ain't over yet. I feel like we might be in that sort of situation here with 12 minutes remaining in Thursday Night Football.
Well, and there's some changes now. So Amari Henderson's out for at least 3 plays. Looked like he was holding his side. We'll see if he can return. Nelson Lacombo goes in at halfback. They leave Jaden Dulkey, who's at safety. Revis was playing a bunch of safety in a rotation with Dulkey as this game went on. And we'll see if the Elks offense go after Nelson Lacombo at halfback and see how he holds up.
Well, it looks like they've got Moncrief at halfback. Now he's going to slide up next to Revis. And they'll have a brief conversation as Cornelius takes the snap, gets it to Brooks. Brooks trying to cut it back up to the 45 on first down. Decent pickup and a little bit of involvement in the offense tonight for Shannon Brooks, the first-year Elk.
Well, I saw the urgency in Taylor Cornelius from the very first series when he took off and ran, I think, 3 or 4 times. But this has been their best offensive output against Saskatchewan tonight. Over 300 yards of offense. And we still got a good portion of the fourth quarter to go. They're driving again. You can tell it's a desperate team.
Over 120 yards on the ground for Edmonton. Cornelius to his right, in trouble, throws it into the feet of Dunbar, but avoids taking the sack on second down.
C.J. Revis played the play this time. You know that play? That was the play that Dunbar scored on. It was taken off because of penalty, but then they got a couple of key first downs going right back to it, and this time C.J. Revis has seen it enough. He fakes it there. Now this is that little curl right over the middle. Stop it there. There's the curl. Look at Revis said, no, I've seen this movie and I know how it ends. I'm not going to give you the first down there, and that forces Cornelius to throw it away.
Julian at midfield once again. A handful of times he's had to let it fly from right about this same position tonight. Alford lets that bounce, but it bounces back. That's where he's going to pick it up. And he'll take it back to about the 15-yard line. Trevor Harris, Riders offense on the field when we return. These things look pretty good. I wear them over top of my regular glasses.
The mirrors.
It's perfect, yeah. A couple of cool dudes in the booth. Here's Harris. Far side. Great tackle made there as Jones tried to get free, but Lewis wraps up his legs.
Well, now talking about urgency, now it's time for Saskatchewan to kick it in. They need Emlis. Start running those routes. This time it's Jones catching that little hitch screen, getting them started on first down.
2nd and 5. They'll give it to Morrow. He's stopped at the 30. Nowhere to go. Niles Morgan.
Well, it's Morgan, and I think it was Kevin's son as well. Adam Konar stepping in. But Morgan leading the league in tackles coming into the week. He's number 45 in the middle of the screen. He's going to get some help, I believe, from Konar at the end. But watch this contact. It was Konar. Steps right into Jamal Morrow. Kevin's son coming up big.
What a pop by Konar.
I had to revisit that because of that early mistake.
You called him Kevin earlier if you're just joining us. On the hop, 41-yard kick. Purifoy takes it back to the 50. And here's a look at Cornelius, and a chance here for him to sustain a drive and put more points on the board late.
Yeah, absolutely, for this game, but it's even bigger than that. I think this is what they believe Taylor Cornelius was tonight. He can run very well. We saw that in that win last year against Saskatchewan. That's what really kicked in. He had just got that new contract extension. The coaching staff and management believe in Taylor Cornelius. He can be a winner. He's played with great urgency tonight with a pass rush in his face a lot of the night.
He'll use his legs to get out of that pocket. 4 carries on the season. He's got 10 tonight. They go back to Brown. Does a good job getting positive yardage on first down, almost half of what they need.
But they're best outed. I mean, first of all, way better against the run on defense, and there's still lots of football to be played. This is by far not over, but you know, this right now, the Elks have the edge with the lead, the ball, and Taylor Cornelius has been taken out and running for first downs in this scenario all night long. So the responsibility for that D-line now, contain. If he's going to run, make him run straight up the middle, because Larry Dean hangs out in that area.
Cornelius gives it to Brooks. Dean, among others, is there in midfield to force a 3rd down. Excellent defensive stand here by Saskatchewan.
Yeah, it's Pete Robertson. Pete Robertson makes the play. I mean, at the end of the day, Larry Dean gets in there on the tackle. But Pete Robinson is the guy that forces the handoff, because this is an RPO type of play. This is where Cornelius is going to fake it on the run and keep it and watch the play by 45 off the edge. He either gives it here or keeps it. And Pete Robertson played both. He stayed outside long enough for Cornelius to give it, and then he slid in and helped out on the tackle.
3rd 2 and out of the game for Edmonton. Julian set to kick it away again, and you just don't want to kick it very often to Mario Alford. He's going to take this one at the 20, immediately turns and tries to get to the outside, looking for a block. Won't get it. And he will take it just outside the 25. Well, the time is now for this man, Trevor Harris. 2 more coming up this weekend. Trevor Harris looking to jumpstart this offense. Held to just a single field goal so far in the game. Near side goes back to Picton, who is heavily involved on a drive in the 2nd quarter. That's his 3rd catch of the ball game.
Yeah, and they're not just the short routes. The Picton catches are down the field, intermediate to deep. Nice route running to get to that spot. There were 4 receivers out there, so the timing had to be exact, and it was from Picton.
Picton leads the Riders in receiving tonight on those 3 catches. 72 yards total. 1st and 10 from the Rider 43. 3 options wide left for Harris. That's where he looks. Almost in trouble. Now he escapes, dumps it off to Morrow, but he couldn't hang on. And he knows it. He hangs his head as it falls incomplete.
Remember when Emilus got the penalty, and then the very next play went out and made a real nice catch on the sideline? That's what good players do. And you saw Jamal Morrow disappointed with himself after this. Head goes down. Oh, you're kidding me. And the coach helps him out. Never mind that one. Let it go. The next play is most important.
They are 5 for 15 on 2nd downs so far in this game. 4 receivers to the left for Harris. Look to the right, wants to go to the right, and he will. And that is broken up. Jones Sims couldn't find it, and a nice play by Marcus Lewis to get in front of that one.
Well, I'll tell you what, he's made some plays tonight. That interception he fell under, and this was a pretty good throw. I don't know there's a better way to throw a little chip there from Konar helping his defensive back, but good timing on to cut underneath. Make sure you get a piece of the ball, because if you miss the ball as a DB there, you're in big trouble. He doesn't.
Horsack forced to kick this away again. That one bounces at the 29. Taken by Sims, and he'll return it just outside the 30 with 5:27 on the clock. We talked about Cornelius, a chance to seal this thing away. It was a 2-and-out the last time they got the ball. Don't want one of those again.
No, and the Riders over the last 2 series has now kind of inched the field position back, because even when Cornelius had to punt, he was punting around midfield.
Yeah.
So the field position battle was Edmonton's, which has really quieted this crowd down. Have you noticed that? I mean, it is usually a lot louder when the opposing quarterback's trying to call the signals.
I think they're going to crank it up a notch.
They heard me? You heard me?
Yeah, over 27,000 here. Got to make life difficult for 15. Cornelius guns that one into Dunbar again, and he'll be stopped just short of a first down.
Rivas can't believe it, because Dunbar, this is the one he knocked down earlier. And fake inside, throw the curl. Remember when he knocked it down on the last series?
Just a tad late getting there this time.
The battle continues. Dunbar, one check in his column.
2 noisemakers with the same man. Legendary move. Cornelius. He's been good in these second and short situations, trying to lunge ahead again, and he kind of gets pulled ahead for a first down.
Well, no matter how this turns out, you know, I think the idea or the decision on quarterback for Edmonton has basically been decided. Right?
He's starting next week.
He's starting. He's the guy. You know, Chris Jones kind of knew it anyway.
Saskatchewan.
And was telling us in all the Zoom calls we had in the first 2-3 weeks of the season, was saying, no, he's our guy. We believe in him. You know, and they went to Jared Daggy. I bet you if they went back and looked at that, they'd say, yeah, we probably shouldn't have done that.
Taylor.
Yeah. But if he could finish it off and get win number 1, that solidifies it. But even if they can and the Riders come back here tonight in the next 4 minutes, that controversy can be put to bed.
Yeah, I don't think that discussion pops up for quite some time, if at all. Edmonton fans kind of nervous with how the season has gone so far, waiting and seeing how this one plays out. Cornelius trying to put together a drive here to seal it away. Riders defense, other ideas. They work from the Edmonton 40. They'll hand it off this time, and a nice push ahead by Kevin Brown on first down, and it'll be second and very manageable again for Edmonton.
Yeah, you know, this is a real good play by Edmonton, because this is a run blitz. In other words, linebackers are blitzing to stop the run. Not necessarily, they know this is going to be a running play, or at least they've done their homework and they're stepping up saying they're going to give it on first down to Brown, and they still got past the 5-yard mark to get in a second and manageable situation. That's a big run and push from the O-line against a run blitz defensively.
They gave him 7, so it's 2nd and 3. Brown standing in for the left of Cornelius. Cornelius keeps it this time, batted down by Tights right in his face, and that'll bring up 3rd down. What a play by Micah Tights at a big moment.
Big play, Dustin. That's, you know, and I just had, 2 commercial breaks ago, I thought, is Micah Tights hurt, or have we just not noticed him tonight? And it was that he was not really noticed. That doesn't mean he was playing bad. It just means that, he hadn't made this type of play yet. That is maybe the biggest of the night for the Riders.
Cornelius looking for Kyron Moore again on that play. He's got 5 catches, a team high so far this evening. Julian waits, takes it, and lets it go just inside his own 40. Alford takes it at the 21. Mario Alford hammered and taken down as Edmonton's special teams continues to put together a pretty good night. Ari Alford looking to change this game. Josiah Shackle, who recently signed with Edmonton, has other ideas. An 11 delivery. What a time to be alive, eh? 2023 technology just makes life better.
I'm trying your sandwich.
Yeah, the pizza sub. I've created a buzz nationwide about it tonight, so that's great. Harris in trouble. AC Leonard gets home. And what a play by this Edmonton defense inside 3 minutes.
Working with Serezna. Serezna's going to go upfield, and there's Leonard coming around on the stunt. Just not picked up at all by the O-line. Serezna he gets the assist because he does a lot of hard work on the power rush there to get
opened it up, right?
Yeah, the opening for AC Leonard.
So 2nd and 15 now for Harris. Empty backfield. Leonard's coming again. Harris escapes on the run to his right, trying to find something downfield. He's able to gun it in there, and if that's held onto, that could be a first down. Sean Bain, or is that Emelis? Emelis came back to him and helped out his quarterback.
Boy, did he ever, because he wasn't sure. His first break when Harris got outside and was running was to go down the field, and I think Harris just waved him back, and then he put it between the 1 and the 9, and Emelis hung on.
Excellent play by Trevor Harris to keep this drive alive. 2.5 to work with. 4 receivers to his left again. Rolls to his right. Pressure coming, gets around it, now looks down the field, and that's held on to. Tevin Jones comes up clutch.
Directing traffic back there on the run. I mean, Trevor Harris should have been tackled a couple of times. Couple of Edmonton Elks had chances at him, got his eyes up, and throws it where only his guy can catch it. Another 28-yard, 20-plus gain. 2 great catches right on the sideline, Jones and Emelis.
Riders, of course, went to overtime in week 3, trying to force something similar here. Harris, great footwork, stays alive, and that's incomplete. Emelis in and out of his hands. He's lucky he didn't hand that off.
I was going to say, he almost coughed it up to Luchez Purifoy.
Purifoy's gone if he gets his hands on that.
Yeah, Trevor Harris first wanted an out and up or a double move play. He pump fakes it. Emelis is on the outside, but he pump fakes this to try and get the deep one right there to Watson. He doesn't have time for that, so he swings it out there, but wow, Emelis almost tipped it right into Purifoy's hands.
Huge 2nd and 10 for the Riders. Harris, empty backfield once again. 4-man pressure from Edmonton. Harris with time. Now he escapes on the run, looking for that first down marker. Got it, takes it down to the 25, and the Riders march on.
You know, he doesn't do it often, but it's in moments like this. You know, I think back to one of their wins this season, a 19-yard run, a key moment, got them out of their deep in their own end. Went to the game-winning field goal, and he just, again, he doesn't do it often, but he understands what's necessary now.
6th play of this drive. The Riders have made quick work of the Elks defense, this time with the ball. This time they'll hand it off to Morrow, busting ahead, takes it down to the 15. Will be about a yard shy of a first down.
Ten games in a row going back to 2018 were decided in the final 3 minutes. How about decided in overtime? Now there's some work to do. If you're a Rider fan, there's some work to do.
Edmonton has called a timeout. Try to give this defense a little bit of a breather here.
Yeah, exactly. They were guessing a little bit, and they go to the run to get some personnel issues. It looks like Chris Jones wanting to get the right players out there, so he didn't have to burn that timeout because he thinks if they score, depending on what happens, and get the 2-point conversion, then he can maybe have a few seconds left for field goal range.
4th trip inside the red zone today for the Riders. They came away with a field goal, a turnover on downs from the 3, and an interception thrown by Trevor Harris. That's why they sit here with just 3 points. Interesting hats side by side. They need 1 for a first down. 15 will take them all the way to the house. Harris bobbles the snap, hauls it back in, trying to push ahead, but I don't think he's got it. AC Leonard wraps him up short.
Yeah, he'll be short. Just took his eyes off the ball in the shotgun snap a little bit high. No Peter Godber here at center. It's Logan Bandy. He's been playing well all game. We haven't seen any of these issues all game long, but AC Leonard catches from behind, and they're going to have to go with a full yard now on third down.
Yeah, they ended up losing a yard there, so 3rd and 2.
And that wasn't Bandy's fault.
No, it didn't look like it, did it?
He just took his eyes off.
So 3rd and 2. Harris in the shotgun, trying to keep the Riders' hopes alive with 90 seconds left. They'll give it to Morrow, pushing ahead. And he's got enough. Jamal Morrow comes up huge, and the Riders stay alive.
By about a half a yard, it looks like. And, you know, I know there's probably some who are thinking, you know, you're in shotgun, you need a yard, and you're giving the ball 4 or 5 yards back. The reason that you do it is to set up the blocks by your O-line. Gives them a chance to get the angles, and your running back can see it. The downside is one guy shoots through a gap and catches you in the backfield, it's game over.
Harris now, 1st and 10. Has a completion down to the 5 as he gets it into the hands of Tevin Jones with 1:14 on the clock.
Then, moving quick, inside the 5.
9 plays, 73-yard drive. Trevor Harris closing in on 300 yards passing. No touchdowns just yet. They'll look to change that now. Jamal Morrow, who doesn't have a touchdown on the season, stands in to the left of his quarterback. Harris wants to be throwing here. Far side, touchdown! He finds Picton, and the Riders strike late. We've got a 2-point game in Mosaics.
Well, the secret weapon won't be a secret much longer. Mitch Picton. Nice little out route. Timing is there. Throw on time. Inside rub, offenses like to call it. And Darius Bratton can't chase it down. Here we go. 2 for the tie.
11-9 Edmonton leads. A 10-play, 78-yard drive ends in a Picton touchdown. And now the Riders gotta have 2. Morrow out to the left. Harris under pressure gets it away. They got it. Tie game. He goes to Kendall Watson, and we're deadlocked at 11.
Well, that's a veteran quarterback showing great poise, because this is not where he wanted to go with the ball on the most important play of the game to push it to overtime, possibly. Still time left. But he wanted to go to his left. Watch the look by Trevor Harris here. Stop it there. Look, he is locked in for the first part of that whole play this way. He switches his hips, goes to his third read in the middle, sees Watson, and hits him. That's poise in the pocket in a crucial moment.
A Riders offense that had been stalled most of the night comes up huge at the biggest moment. And we have one of the most entertaining 11-11 games I've ever called, Glenn.
Well, listen, there's a lot of time left for Cornelius, and they only need field goal range, obviously. So let's take a look at the touchdown first. And Picton, a good timing out off the rub to get outside, and he's had a big game tonight. To the 2-point convert. Let's see if Cornelius can manufacture a boat. He'll probably need 30 yards to get into field goal.
Certainly the time to do it. A deep kick. Oh, this one will bounce all the way into the end zone. Sims goes back. And he's going to concede. My goodness, what just happened? The Elks allow the single and the Riders go up 12-11.
And he didn't know. He's
Oh my.
C.J. Sims didn't know. He didn't have the instructions from the coaching staff. New to the CFL. That was a good kick over his head, but this nonchalant effort to chase it down, he was giving up a point the whole way.
Conduct. Edmonton, number 16. 10-yard penalty will be enforced from the 40-yard line. First down, Edmonton.
What a conversation that must be.
Have to take it out because of the score, and he's saying, I know. And that's
Wow.
just tell you what, it just sometimes you just have that moment not locked in mentally. Here we go.
Now they got to have a field goal to not lose this game. Pressure right away. They hand it off to Brooks, and he's stopped by the Riders defense. Nowhere to go. Right up the gut. Miles Brown shuts him down.
Well, now the defense can win it, and they're playing like it. Because they get the stop, it's game over because of a decision to let it go into the end zone and give up a single.
Second and 11. Cornelius, five-man pressure. He's out on the run. He's got some room. Cornelius throws it. Complete the Frenchie. Bounces back up on his feet down to the 50. I thought Cornelius might have been across the line of scrimmage when he let that thing go.
Well, that was very close. Ball's just on the 29-yard line going out. They're gonna, if they run a play, it won't matter.
No,
he's well. Well, they're going to check it now. I think Craig Dickinson wants a look at that.
It sure looked like it.
Well, very close. I thought he might have been okay. It looked like
there is no challenge in the play. The play is under review by the command center.
Inside of 3 minutes.
Yeah, so Dickinson had thrown his challenge flag.
Just to remind them.
Yeah. Hey, let's not get the staff snap off here, eh?
Yeah, there's some interesting strategies going on with challenge flags in the first few weeks of the season. But look, let's take a look, because I believe the ball is snapped right there on the 29-yard line going out. So Cornelius has to be behind that 29-yard line. Well, looks like that front foot was on the 30,
that
wasn't
front
it?
foot was on the 30. I think that's pretty clear cut, isn't it? Nice catch by French. They've just shown in-house where Cornelius was when he threw that. It was a big cheer from the crowd.
The catch is fine.
Yeah.
I think the catch is clean.
Yeah, he got his left arm under this ball, right?
And no one around him to touch him there, so that was clean. And the extra yards. The question is, was Taylor Cornelius over the line of scrimmage? Ball snapped around the 29.
Cornelius watching on. And the review continues. Taking quite a bit of time to make sure they get the right call here. Just 37 seconds remaining in this football game. Here's another look.
After review by the command center, the ruling on the field stands.
Wow. Wow. So a 30-yard gain stands, And the Elks are shockingly still alive. Cornelius in trouble, gets it away as he's hit. And that falls incomplete.
Well, right now he needs 5 to 7.
Riders defense trying to stop Edmonton from having a chance to roll out Dean Faithful for a game winner. 2nd and 10 from the Rider 50. Clock sits at 29 seconds. More pressure from the Riders. Cornelius gets it away. Intercepted just outside the 40. A game ender from Marshall as he steps in and now tries to run the clock out, but the Riders defense comes up big to seal this thing away.
Intended target, Dylan Mitchell. It looked like a good route. The ball just thrown behind him, and it gave Nick Marshall the opportunity, the chance to pick it. He does. So whether or not Cornelius was over the line is now irrelevant. The play made by the Rider defense. And for the record, any part of the body behind the line of scrimmage, as long as the trail foot is behind the line of scrimmage.
Even if his other foot's down.
Even if the other foot is across it.
Really?
It's a legal throw. So that play stood because of that, but it didn't matter because of Nick Marshall.
The Riders, in thrilling fashion late, win it on a rouge. 12-11. The final. I think we talked about it all night, Glenn. She was a weird one, wasn't she?
Well,